everyone, it's Nay and welcome to my update for my 9 by New Year's. Actually, this is both a intro and an update. I started this back on the 1st of August, and it wasn't until the other day when I was looking to get ready for my A to Z project plan for next year that I realised I'd even started this. Luckily, the things in this project plan are things that I tend to use anyway, which is why they were in here. So most of these have got some fairly good progress anyway. So the first one is this BB cream from Garnier. So it's really quite old. Back on the 1st of August this was 36.24 grams. It's currently 18.57 grams. So I've used about 18 grams, which is a good chunk of it. It's actually probably more realistic to say it's sitting about here, and this one's getting to the point where I have to bend it and push it to get anything out of it. I actually recently ran it through like one of those tube squeezers, so that's why it's looking quite like it is at the moment. And there's this little band sort of sitting about here, which was as far as I could get it, the squeezer on it at the time. Mind you, the lid was on, so if I take the lid off, I don't know if I'll get it any further. And then there's sort of a gap in it. I don't know. Let's have a look if this will work. No, it's not really working, is it? I thought I might be able to. That's not going to cooperate. Okay. So yeah, there's a gap, and then it's sitting around about here on each side. So definitely looking to get this one done by the end of the year. I think it's a reasonable proposition. If I've used 18 grams over the last basically 3 months, I'm thinking there might be about 8 or so grams left on it. Maybe even a bit less. I think the Rimmel one I had, the empty packaging, was about 9 grams. This is a slightly bigger tube and probably a bit more robust here. So there's probably not even that. So I think there's a good chance I'll get this one done by the end of the year. The next one I've got is this Avon Skin Goodness Foundation. I think it's a mineral one. Actually, I came across the box the other day. And this one is started at 23.21 grams and is currently at 18.31 grams. Most of the writing that was on it has rubbed off, which is why I'm guessing as to whether it's a minerals one or not. Actually, you can read there, it's a mineral one. So this one, similar weight to the other one, probably a bit more product in this one. I actually started off using this one and then decided I didn't think it gave me enough coverage for what I wanted, and it was very, very runny. So I started mixing it with this one, and together they seem to make a nice combination. They seem to give a nice effect, the two of them together. I'm hoping I'll get that one done by the end of the year. I think it's possible, but this one's a bit harder to tell because it is opaque and you can't see through it. But I'm thinking there's probably about that much product in it or something like that. That being said, I'm thinking there's probably still maybe 8 or 9 grams in that one as well. So we'll see how we go. Might end up ramping that one up or mixing it with something else towards the end of the year. The next thing I've got is this Garnier Micellar Water. Started off at 71.79 grams, currently at 46.99 grams. Don't know if I'll get this one done by the end of the year. I'll come close. And I'm thinking that's with Christmas and New Year and those public holidays, there'll probably be a few days I'm not wearing makeup, which might make it a bit hard to get it finished. I actually have another one of these, it's empty, that weighs 21.7 grams empty. So there's still about 25 grams in here, which I reckon is about what I've used up. Yeah, it's about what I've used up in the last 3 months. Yeah, so probably not going to quite get through this one. The next thing I've got is this Emu Oil Lip Balm. Now this one was 7.94 grams. I actually didn't weigh it today because I scraped out everything that was in it, turned the little stopper thing upside down because it's a lot more shallow that way, and I've just got that sitting in there at the moment, and that's actually the plastic that you can see there. It was heaped up a lot further before. So I mixed it up, scraped it out, mixed it in with a bit of this Lush lip tint that I don't particularly like, and being a Lush thing, they go solid and rubbery very, very quickly. So just mixed in a little bit of that, just to give it a bit of a colour so it's more of a bit of a lip stain. I can see that being gone in the next couple of weeks probably. I can't see it really being a problem. Yeah, so I didn't actually weigh that because it doesn't really tell me anything. So technically it's done. In actuality, I'll finish that up, but I can't see there being any problem with having that done by the end of the year. The next thing I've got is this Celestial Taupe eyeshadow. It's an Avon one. It was originally a bait pan, but it got dropped a couple of times. I've had to repress it a couple of times because it was baked, it was domed, so it didn't really fit in the pan all that well. But my goal was to hit pan, and you can see I've done that, and it's actually a little bit showing through there. It's a bit of a funny pan, this one. I think it's one where it's been baked and then glued in. It's because when I had to repress it, it didn't really come straight clean, completely clean. Excuse me. Yeah, so I've got some pan, and it's quite a reasonable bit of pan considering. So happy with that. This is going to last forever because it started off at 4 grams, and even with using it and repressing it and using it and repressing it, I think even if you were to use it every day, all over, eye look, one and done type deal, probably last you a couple of years. The next thing I've got is this e.l.f. eye primer. I think this is a shadow lock from memory, and I believe this one is champagne. The little sticker did come off the end. This one was 11.25 grams. It's currently 10.78 grams, but I have removed the stopper out of it. And I don't know if there's any chance that Jessica Lee will be watching this, but she has been panning one, and she was saying about how the stopper looked like it wasn't actually achieving much, but this is what this one looks like without stopper in it. And I did spray in a little bit of Fix Plus, just because it was quite dry, even with the stopper in there, just to give it a bit more movement. And yeah, now it coats everything. I actually was looking in it before, and there are a few little windows showing out on the outside of the packaging, not that you can really see because the packaging itself is coloured and opaque. But yeah, this has lasted me a long time, and I thought when I took the stopper out it wouldn't last all that much longer, but it is. So there you go. Good value for money if you're ever in the market for a coloured eye primer. I think this has a few bits of glitter in it, like not much, like you sort of put it on and you go, oh, I think there's a bit of glitter in there. Yeah, so they're a bit odd, but they seem to work and they last forever. The next thing I've got is the Mocha Silk True Colour Mousse Eyeshadow from Avon. Now, I thought that was in a project, but I didn't bother to get it out because I thought it was in a different project. I can tell you that the tube is empty. I actually scraped out the tube and it is sitting in a little pot. If you've ever seen the MAC Prep and Prime lip primers, it's similar to that sort of packaging, where it comes out on an angle. So I did that, and then I got it down to level where I couldn't use it out the stick anymore. I turned it around the other way because it had like a little spiky thing, used it a bit, and then I scraped it out, and that is what is left of that. It's quite a dry consistency. And I sort of use this one as an eye primer when I'm doing brownie type eyeshadow looks, where I use the other one if I'm doing purple. I'm expecting this to be gone by the end of the year. I can't see why it wouldn't be. But again, that's one that's probably technically used up. I certainly used up as much as I could using it in the packaging, and then I turned around the other way and got a bit more use out of it that way, and then I scraped it out. So I think that one is you could probably consider done, and I think this will be gone shortly anyway. The next thing I've got is this Baby Lips lip balm in the colour Pink Shot. Again, this one is technically finished if you want to talk about using the product in the packaging. Again, forgot this one was in a project. So I actually went to scrape this one out similar to what I did with this one the other day. But because it's such a wide pan, tube, whatever, when I put my spatula in to scrape it, it sort of rose up in the middle. And I'm like, well, I reckon I can use it like that for a bit longer. When it gets pushed down, I'll probably go in and scrape it up into the middle again and probably do that. Use it again that way for a bit longer. We'll see how we go. Depending on how much is left, I'll probably then scrape it into a pot similar to this one. So again, probably technically done. But again, we'll probably have the last remnants done by the end of the year. This one I used, and then it kind of ended up in a pocket and then in another pocket, and this has a tendency to fall out of pockets when I take my pads off, if I don't take them out my pockets first, and then they kind of get lost. So this is one of those things where I use it quite a bit and then I'll kind of lose it for a bit and it will not get used, of course, and then I'll rediscover it and use it some more. So yeah, should be done shortly, as long as I can remember to keep it somewhere where I can lay hands on it. This isn't all that old, unlike a lot of the other stuff in my projects, but the packaging on this annoyed the crap out of me. When it was new, it sat out about as far as that is sitting out now, so every time you went to put the lid on, you'd have to line it up quickly, which is properly, which is why I put it straight in a pan. Now it's obviously cracked and it doesn't stay on very well. It sort of does, but I wouldn't treat it with it, have any confidence, so I'll be glad to get that one out of my collection. Something makes me think I bought a purple one really cheap, which was a bit silly of me, but I think at that time it was when I had it down far enough the packaging wasn't annoying me. And they're certainly fairly bright. They give you a fairly decent amount of colour considering the sort of product they are. I'm sorry, my throat gets very sore and my mouth gets very dry filming these, and I've only been talking for 14 minutes. The last one in this project is this conditioner. So this is by Le Labo, and it's Rose 31 cent. This was actually from a hotel from a couple of years ago, and I kept it because it's a really thick consistency, and usually conditioners that have a thick consistency work better. This one smells really nice. It's Le Labo, which is known for their scents, but I'm not convinced it does an awful lot for my hair. Currently got about that much left, and I actually forgot to weigh this when I put it in the project, but it was pretty much new. So I've actually got a good few months worth use out of this one. It surprised me actually how long this one's been holding on for. I guess because it is so thick you don't need an awful lot because it doesn't sort of run through your fingers or anything, and my hair is fairly fine, and I tend to only use this sort of in the middle to ends of my hair. That being said, I think I should get it done by the end of the year. It started off as 40 mils. There's probably maybe a third, quite a quarter, so there's probably about another month or so on that one maybe. Alright, so yeah, I reckon I should have all but 2 done by the end of the year, I think, on this one. 1, 2, 3, actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 that you could technically say are done, another 2 that should be done, 1 I'm not sure of there. I imagine that one will be. Alright, thanks for watching and listening to me ramble. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.